Well, hello, everybody. This is a special presentation. I wanted to show the in season set that Play.com has out for free. I took the information from their set and put it in my own um, player creation because I like to have a little bit more bells and whistles and logos and stuff. And I understand Play can't do that because of, licensing reasons and so forth. These are what the sets really look like on my phone. I don't know if I can see that, but it's a smaller version of the game, and it's no bells and whistles. It's all black and white, no team names, no there's city name, but no nicknames or whatever. But what I did is I took the game tonight between the St. Louis, Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets from last night's game, and then into tonight's game. So I'm using the lineup for the Phillies that they used against the right-handed pitcher on Monday night, and I'm using the lineup that the Mets used last night against Ranger Suarez, who was another left-handed pitcher. So I'm going with that as our lineups. I do have the score sheet over here. I did type it in because my handwriting is so awful. So I do have these all typed in and ready to go. Um, yes, Kathy. Well, it's not new. It's an old game. I mean, it's History Maker baseball, but this is a game that's going to be played tonight at around 7 o'clock, and I'm doing a pre-play on it using History Maker Baseball. It's the only game I know of out there that you can do this for. Can't do it for Strat, obviously, because they haven't come out with the season yet. Just doing it for fun, nothing unusual. Just was tinkering around with my PDF editor and figured I'd do something with it. If we look at the umpires for tonight's game, I just took the rotation from last night's game and just moved the umpires over in their natural rotation. So Ryan Wills will be the home plate umpire. He is respected. First base umpire will be Stu I can't speak his name. Stu Sherwater, and he is a neutral. Will Little will be at second base. He is respected and strict. And Ryan Additon, who was last night's home plate umpire, questionable and lenient. So I made both teams neutral. I didn't think there'd be anything, to do with that. As far as hot and cold, I went to last night's game. Vientos had a home run, and so he is going to get the hot call. Lindor went 0 for 5. He gets the cold call. He's not trying to sell anything. He's a cold call. Realmuto is a cold batter for the Phillies, and Bryson Stott had 3 hits in that game, so he is actually the hot batter for that game. So the lineup is Francisco Lindor at short, Juan Soto in right, Pete Alonso at first, Mark Vientos at third, Brandon Nimmo, the left fielder, Starling Marte is your DH, Francisco Alvarez at catching, Jeff McNeil at second, and Jose Siri is the center fielder. That's the Mets lineup. Remember, the Phillies still have Trey Turner out, so he's not in the lineup. And same with Alec Boehm. He's also out of the lineup. So we have Bryce Harper leading off at first, Kyle Schwarber DH, JT Realmuto is doing the catching, Max Kepler in left, Harrison Bader in center, Nick Castellanos in right field, Bryson Stott is at second, Edmundo Sosa is the shortstop, and Otto Kemp is at third. And of course, the pitchers, Clay Holmes, a right-hander for the Mets, and Christopher Sanchez, a left-hander for the Phillies. Again, this is just for fun. Nothing, it's definitely not a replay of any kind. I'm just doing a pre-play. It'll be curious to see, because there's no guarantee that these lineups are going to be what they use tonight. I just went by my best guess. But we'll just see how it turns out. Hopefully it's better than last night's game they played where Sean Manaea got ripped. I think it was 9-2 or something like that. So I'm hoping this is a little bit better. Philip, I never played the History Maker Express. Never really felt the need for it because the game is actually pretty quick. One of these days I might delve into it, but I just never had the inkling to do so. All right, just going to use these little guys here for the base runners. And we're ready to go. Francisco Lindor will lead things off here against Christopher Sanchez. And we're underway. That's a 1-4-5. And, of course, you have to go to the playbook because that is where everything is driven from. Everything is driven from this playbook. This beauty right here drives everything. So if you look at the first result, 1-4-5. Well, we go to 1-4-5. It's asking, is the pitcher a struggler? He's actually a semi-ace, so he's not a struggler. So that fails. When that fails, you go to the next result. Next result for the batter is blank, so there's nothing on the batter. And then finally, that means he's going to ground it out to either first or third base. Since Lindor is a right-handed hitter, switch hitter batting right, we say he grounds to third, and that's the way the ball game starts. So those that are unfamiliar with History Maker Baseball, the game starts out asking a question of the pitcher, and if the pitcher resolves the at-bat's over. If the pitcher can't resolve it, like in this case, he was not a struggler, then we move on to the batter and see if the batter can resolve it. If the batter can't resolve it, and we go to the fielder. That's kind of the process that it goes on there. That's for those who are unfamiliar with History Maker Baseball. All right, so Juan Soto will bat second for the Mets. He's in right field. Hello, Big Van Vader. Good to see you. Hello, Canadian. Like I said, this is just an off-the-cuff thing. I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I said, what the hey? I made the cards up, so why not? So Soto, that's a 2-2-5, and again, we go to the book on the 2-2-5. If we look, 2-2-5, and they're read in ascending order, smallest to largest. Colors, most times colors don't matter. Sometimes they do, most times they don't. 2-2-5. So 2-2-5 asks, is the pitcher a star? No, he's a semi-ace. He's not a star. So since he's not a star, we skip that and go straight to the next result. Slugger or sad sack? Is he a slugger or sad sack? No, he's a home run king, but he's not a slugger. He's utility, but not a sad sack. So that fails also. So we come over here and it says he singles to center field. If he's active, he steals. He is semi-active. There's a little dot there. It says sometimes he's active, sometimes he's not. The decider die is a blank. If it had been a bullet, if the decider die had come up this way, then he would have been active this at bat and he would have stolen a base. But in this case, he gets the single, but he's not active, so he will stay at first base. He will not steal second. Hopefully that's enough intro into the game so I can go ahead and start playing it like normal now. Normal speed. Here's Pete Alonso, the big guy. That's a 2-4-5, and that asks, is he a, well, actually, the pitcher is blank in this one, so we skip that. Asks, is the batter a hero? No, he's not a hero, so he's going to pop it up to second, and you see that's in red. When that's in red, that means we go to one of our micro charts like chemistry, experience, or right now. Red means experience. So the next at bat, we're going to the experience chart, not this main chart. But in the meantime, Pete Alonso pops to second for out number 2. So Mark Vientos will be batting on the experience chart. So we go to the experience chart, which is in red, just like on the result. So on the result, you see the player experience is in red lettering, and that's what we had on the last result. Vientos' experience is neutral. He does not have any experience. He's not a rookie, nor is he a veteran. Same with Sanchez. They're both neutral. So it's just a 2-die roll. Don't need the third die. It's just a 2-die roll on this mini chart. And you don't need the decider die because nobody's got a half quality. They've got no qualities there. So we're going to have 2-5 on the experience chart. Icon batter. No, he is a neutral batter. He is not an icon batter. If he was an icon batter, he would anticipate a pitch and chop it past a shortstop for a single. Otherwise, he lines out to third. So the fact that he was not an icon, he was not an experienced batter, instead of chopping one past short, he ends up lining it to third base, and that is out number 2. And that'll bring up Brandon Nimmo. That's a 3-4-5. We go back to the original chart. I'll just do this for the first inning, then after that I'll drive on. 3-4-5. Ask, is it an iron catcher? Catcher for the Phillies is Realmuto. He is not iron. He is a neutral fielder. He's not a gold glove, and he's not iron, so he's neutral. So that fails. So we do not get a walk. We go to the next chart. Is the batter have a good eye? No, he does not have a good eye. He's actually semi-eager. So he does not have a good eye. So it won't be a check swing ball. Instead, it'll be a strikeout. And again, that's in blue, which is going to take us to a right now chart for the next at bat. But that's the third out of the inning on that strikeout. So the Mets come away empty-handed. And now we're going to the right now chart for the next at bat, which is kind of unfortunate because that's based on the previous at bats and batters faced for these pitchers. And we're in the bottom of the first, so they haven't done anything yet. So what I'm going to do in this case, not technically by the rules, but hey, you can homebrew the stuff, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass that and just go off the regular chart because they have no right now to go by. Nobody's done anything. We're too early on that. They haven't had any exchanges on that. So, all right, Clay Holmes, a right-hander. He's going to face Bryce Harper. That's a 2-4-6. And a 2-4-6 asks, does the pitcher have control? He's got semi-control. There's a little dot right there, semi-control. The decider die is a blank, so that means in this particular bat, he does not have the control quality that you needed. So he will not get a ground out to the pitcher. So we go to the batter. Is the batter eager or sad sack? He is actually semi-patient. He is not eager. So that means he will not pop it up to third. What it actually means is he's going to draw a base on balls. And if he was an active runner, he would steal, but he's neutral in his running. So Bryce Harper draws the walk because he wasn't overly eager. He was able to wait out a walk. There's one away. I'm sorry, one on, nobody out. And Kyle Schwarber, the designated hitter, stepping to the plate against Holmes. 1-3-4. 1-3-4 asks, is the catcher gold? Catcher for the Mets is Alvarez. He is, again, neutral. He's not gold. He's not iron. He's neutral. So that fails. So when that fails, you skip it. Go over here. Is the batter a champion? Kyle Schwarber is semi-utility. He's not a champion. So that fails. Then we go to outfield drama. So now we're going to our outfield drama chart to check on the Mets outfielders, see how well they can field. And it's a 2-die roll. And we get a 4-6. 4-6 on outfield drama. Left fielder iron. Is the left fielder iron? Left fielder for the Mets is Brandon Nimmo. He is neutral. He is not iron. If he was iron, he would be indecisive, can't make the play, and it's a single. Otherwise, it's a line out. So it's a fly out to left for out number 1. And that result was in purple. Don't know if you saw that or not. But that result at the end, that line out is in purple, which means we're going to the chemistry chart. But actually, what I'm going to do also on this is, well, no, I'll go. They're both neutral. I made them both neutral. So we can still go to the chemistry chart even though they're both neutral. All right, so both teams are neutral. And the at-bat now belongs to Realmuto on the chemistry chart. We get a 2-3. 2-3 on team chemistry. 2-3. Pitching team harmony. No, they're neutral. Everybody's neutral. If they had harmony, a marginal pitch catches the corner for a strikeout. Otherwise, it's going to be a walk. So since they did not have team harmony, it produces a walk. Runners are at first and second with 1 out for Max Kepler. Kepler, the left fielder in this game. That's a 155 or a 155, depending on how you want to read it. So 155 is blank for the pitcher, so we go straight to the batter. Is he a home run king? Kepler is a slugger, but not a home run king. If he was a home run king, obviously he'd have a home run. But since he's not, it's a fly out to center. The fact he's a slugger doesn't matter. It's not a home run king. That's all that counts. There are other situations in the book that ask just for slugger. And if you're a home run king, you don't get the home run, but the slugger does. So it just depends on where you fall. Here's Harrison Bader. That is a 2-3-3 for Harrison Bader. 2-3-3, ace or star. Is the pitcher an ace or a star? He is a semi-star. But again, the decider die let him down. He's not a star this particular at bat. So since he's not, it won't be a ground out to short. We go straight to this next one. Is the batter a slugger? Harrison Bader is a semi-home run king, but not a slugger. So it doesn't matter if he's a home run king or not. It won't matter at all. Of course, got a scam call coming in. It won't matter at all. So it won't be a home run. It'll simply be a fly out to center field, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing for either team in the first. And we go to the second, no score from Citizens Bank Park. And now, since you've seen that stuff, and by the way, I'm still drinking my leftover coffee. It's a cool, rainy day here in the 60s, so good day for coffee, in my opinion. Not that there's ever a bad day, but some days are better than others. All right, here's Starling Marte to start the top of the second. 3-5-6, that's the left-right split in the book. I will show that. The game doesn't involve left-right splits except for one roll, and it's the 3-5-6 roll. And ask, are they the same? That means, does the pitcher throw as the same hand as the batter hits? If he does, it's a strikeout. So look at this. Sanchez is a left-handed pitcher, but Marte is a right-handed batter, so that is a definitive no. It will not be a strikeout. So then we go to the next thing. Is the batter utility or a sad sack? No, he's a semi-hero. So we skip that, and that becomes a single down the third base line. That's where the lefty-right splits come into this game. So Starling Marte with the leadoff single because he was a right-handed batter. Had he been a lefty, he would have struck out. All right, here is Francisco Alvarez, catcher, and that's a 144, which asks, does the pitcher have flash? Sanchez has the flash quality. Let's look at it here. Does he have flash? Yes, to strike out, but there are a pair of eyeglasses here. That means we consult the umpires. If we look down here in the eyeglass section, we're here, I'm sorry. The 144 result is listed right here. It says questionable or leaning umpire calls ball 4. Other umpires, the strike 3 is kept. So we look at our home plate umpire, and that's Ryan Wills. He is respected. He is not questionable or lenient, so the strikeout will stand. Alvarez is out on strikes for out number 1. And here is McNeil, Jeff McNeil. 3-4-5. We're back to the gold catcher again. Realmuto is not a gold catcher. He is neutral. The batter, McNeil, does not have a good eye, so he will strike out. That is out number 2. And it takes us to the right now chart. And Sanchez will be semi-hot because of that strikeout he just received, or just was able to get. And Jose Siri is neutral because he has not come to the plate yet. So we got a hot pitcher, a semi-hot pitcher against a neutral batter. And now they're both going to be neutral. 1-3. 1-3. Cold pitcher. No, Sanchez is not a cold pitcher. If he was, he'd hang a pitch that would be smacked into center field for a single. Otherwise, batter flies to center. So we get Siri to fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the second, no score from Citizens Bank Park. And I have played this game out in a full season replay with using major league lineups, as-played lineups and stats, or as-played lineups from the 1987 Atlanta Braves. I got a whole series of videos on there, probably about 100 videos or close to it. And I did a recap of the stats at the end. It came out very, very close. So this game, while it looks a little hanky, there's method to the madness. As you know, if a guy is eager, that means he doesn't walk very much. I mean, there's everything has a final end goal. So, all right, and like star and ace, that's all based on ERA of the pitcher. So if the pitcher has a certain ERA, he gets a star quality. If he's a terrible ERA, he might be a struggler. So it just depends. Here's Castellanos. 3-5-6. That's a left-right split again. But we got a right-handed pitcher against a right-handed batter, so that is a strikeout. So Castellanos out on strikes because he was not left-handed or a switch hitter. Here's Bryson Stott. He is a lefty. That's a 1-3-4. And a 1-3-4 is asking, is it a gold catcher again? No, he's not a gold catcher. He is not a champion. So we're going to outfield drama. Once again for the Mets outfielders. That's a 1-4 on the outfield drama for the Mets outfielders. Right fielder gold is Juan Soto gold. Juan Soto is not gold. He's neutral. If he was gold, he'd make an incredible sliding catch of a looping liner. Otherwise, batter hits a base hit to right field for a single. And that results in red. So we're going to the experience chart for the next at bat of Sosa. And he is a semi-icon, whereas Clay Holmes is a full icon. So again, that 1-4 right here, the single is in red. That's why we're going to the experience chart. Some people don't like it because you're flipping from chart to chart to chart, which is, understandable, I guess. But it's all part of the fun, in my opinion. And that's what this game is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's not serious like Stratomatics. All right, so we're going to the experience chart. 3-5. Icon batter. He's semi-icon, but the decider die says he's not an icon this at bat. So he is not going to be an icon batter. If he was an icon batter, he would just swing at the last second, loop a single. Otherwise, we're going to outfield drama again for the Mets. So had he been an icon, they would have gotten a base hit right away, but he still might get on with this outfield drama. You never know. That's a 1-6 for the outfield drama, and it says right fielder stoic. So Juan Soto wasn't gold, but is he stoic? No, he's actually semi-active. So since he is not stoic, if he were stoic, it would be a double. Otherwise, he makes the play. He reaches that ball. He catches up to it. So nice play by Soto, keeps that from dropping in. And now there's 2 outs for Otto Kemp, third baseman. Runner still at first. 2-2-4, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's the pitching at home. That little home field boost. Double check it. Yep, pitching at home. Well, the Mets are in the field pitching, and we're at Citizens Bank Park, so obviously they're not at home. If he was at home, you get a pop up to short, but that fails, so we go to the batter. Slugger. Is Otto Kemp a slugger? He's a semi-slugger, but the decider die again is a no. But he's still going to get a single to right field. Single to right field. Now base running. On a lead die of 2, we look down here in the blue boxes for the base running. You got the single. Now it says runners advance 1 base on singles. That's it. 1 base on singles. That's all you get. So Otto Kemp does single. Keeps the inning going, but now that result, if you didn't notice it, was in blue, which means they're going to the right now chart for Bryce Harper. Harper walked his last time, so that keeps him neutral. Holmes just gave up that single. That makes him semi-cold. So we have a semi-cold pitcher against a neutral batter. And now they're both neutral, 3-4 on the right now. Cold batter. No, he's neutral batter. If he was cold, he'd hit a weak dribble to the pitcher, causing a slump of the team. Otherwise, it's just a fly out to right, so it doesn't cause a massive slump. Just an out, and that will end the inning. And at the end of 2, I'm going very, very slow. I probably need to pick the pace up here. I am going very slow because I'm trying to explain what's happening as I'm doing it, which obviously will slow me down. All right, top of the 3rd here. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you. I agree, Canadian. It's very much fun. You can do a whole lot of stuff. You can be creative and create your own cards if you like. You can create a season that hasn't been created by the company. If you want to take the time to create season cards on your own, you can. You can create the cards here and put in your own team colors and logos and everything else. Make up your own teams, whatever you want to do. It's a literal sandbox is what it basically is. All right, here's Lindor. That's a 5-5, and much like in APA where doubles are good, triples are good in this game, particularly higher triples. So 5-5s, we go over here, ace or star, and Sanchez is a semi-ace, and a semi-ace, even if you don't get the decider die, a semi-ace fits in between these 2. So this does qualify. He does qualify as an ace or a star because he's a semi-ace. It fits right in between. So it's deep fly out to right. Otherwise, we'd be looking at a home run for Lindor. But since he was a semi-ace, that's good enough to get the out. And there's 1 away. There's Juan Soto. That's a 1-1-6. That's usually a freshness check when you get those double ones. And up here, 1-1-6 is a freshness check. Well, if you're in the first 3 innings, you're fresh. So definitely he is fresh. So that will be a strikeout because of the freshness. He gets the strikeout. And that is the 4th strikeout for Sanchez. And that brings up the big guy, Pete Alonso. 2-3-5. And that is asking, is the pitcher wild? No, he's got control. Is the batter eager? He is not eager. So he will ground to second unless he's patient. He is not patient. So he grounds to second. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Christopher Sanchez. And I have to admit, I don't know anything about Christopher Sanchez. I know who Clay Holmes is. He used to be a relief pitcher. I guess the Mets made him a starter, but I know nothing about Christopher Sanchez. But I did look at baseball, the MLB app, and saw that these were the starting pitchers for tonight's game. So that's what I went by. Here's Kyle Schwarber. 2-3-5. That's the same result we just had. Pitcher is not wild. He's got semi-control. Is the batter eager? Schwarber is semi-patient. He's not eager. So he will ground to second unless he's patient. He's semi-patient, but the decider die says no. So he will not be patient this at bat. He will just ground to second for out number 1. Sometimes you get that patient rolling. Sometimes you don't. Here's Realmuto. 2-6-6. And that's one where a 2-6-6, you can get a runner thrown out at first base. If he's a leadoff batter, he get a single. That's not only the leadoff batter of the lineup, but leadoff batter of the inning. He is neither in this case. He's the second batter of the inning, so he does not single. He will fly to right. But it's not only the first guy in the batting order, but it's the guy leading off the inning. Also counts. So here's Max Kepler. 115. That's back to a freshness check again. And we're in the third inning, so he is fresh. And that's a pop fly to the fielder of our choice. We'll just say he pops it up to short. Why not? Doesn't matter. Innings over. 3 innings are in the books. We got no score. And now that we're in the fourth inning, both pitchers revert to semi-freshness where they will need the dot to stay fresh. So here's Mark Vientos, third baseman. That's a 1.55. Is he a home run king? He's a semi-slugger, not a home run king. So again, he will fly out to center field for out number 1. So just got the wrong power result there. Here's Nemo. 1-2-6, and that is asking, is he fresh? No, because the desired die is not there. He is no longer fresh. He is semi, but the dot says no. If he had been fresh, it'd be a line out to second. So we move on to the batter. Is the batter a sad sack? No, he is not. He's semi-utility, but he's not a sad sack. So he's going to hit a single past second base. So that is a base hit for Nemo. And it's in blue, so we're going to the right now chart. And Sanchez will be semi-cold for giving up that hit. And Marte, who singled his only time up, is semi-hot. So we get a semi-cold against a semi-hot. But the desired die is a blank, so it's neutral against neutral on the right now chart. The desired die let them both down, or let at least one of them down anyway. Right now chart, 4-6, hot pitcher. No, he would have been semi-cold. Would have been cold with the desired die, but he's nowhere near hot. If he was hot, he would baffle the batter with a called strike 3. Otherwise, grounder to pitcher would only play at first base. So the only plays at first base, which means the runner's going to advance. It's a 1-3 ground out for out number 2. And that will set it up for Francisco Alvarez with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Clutch situation, as someone once said. 3-4-6 for Sanchez. Pitcher is always the first one we check. 3-4-6 is ask. It's the pitcher blank. So we don't have to worry about it. It asks, is the batter eager? He is not eager, so he will draw the base on balls. And that will put runners at first and second. That result is in purple, so we're going to the chemistry chart. Both teams are neutral. McNeil's at bat against Sanchez. We get a 3-3 on the chemistry chart. 3-3. Pitching team dissonance. No, they're neutral. They're not dissonant. If they were dissonant, the infielder would be out of position for a base hit. Otherwise, it's a ground out to first, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing for the Mets. We go to the bottom of the fourth. No score. Somebody will eventually get a hit, I'm sure. I get a run, I'm sure. Here's Harrison Bader. That's a 4-5-6 for Harrison Bader. The pitcher in the 4-5-6 category is blank. Is the batter patient? He is not patient at all. So he will fly to center for out. He will fly to center for out number 1. And once again, that result is in purple. So we're going to the chemistry chart. With the at-bat of Nick Castellanos. And we get a 3-6 on the chemistry. And 3-6 asks, does the batting team have harmony? No, they're not. They're neutral. If they were harmonious, the enthused batter would knock a deep drive off the wall for a double. Otherwise, it's a short pop to left field. That's the difference between being harmonious and being not harmonious. So 2 down for Bryson Stott. That's a 3-5-6. That's a left-right split again. And Stott is a lefty. Holmes is a righty, so they are not the same, so it will not be a strikeout. So when you pass that, you go to the next check, and it asks, is it utility or sad sack? He is semi-utility, but the desired die says no, so it will not be a ground ball to short. It'll be a single. So Bryson Stott with a 2-out single because he won that lefty versus righty matchup. Here's Edmundo Sosa. 2-3-5. Pitcher is not wild. Is he eager? He is eager. That means he's going to single through short unless he's a whiffer. He is a semi-whiffer, but the desired die says no, so the single is going to stand. Had that been a dot there, he would have struck out, but that's not the case. So 2 are on with 2 outs for Otto Kemp. 4-5-6. That's blank for the pitcher. Is he patient? Otto Kemp is eager. He's not patient, so he will fly to center, and that will end the inning. A little bit over eager there. So he didn't draw the walk. He swung at a bad pitch and flied to center field, 2 down, into the inning. We go to the 5th, and of course that result was in purple also. So we're going back to the chemistry chart for the first at bat of Siri, Jose Siri. 4-6 on the chemistry. Pitching team distance, no. Pitcher distracted allows base on balls if they were distant. Otherwise, infield drama. So this time, infield drama. Had outfield drama a couple times. This is infield drama for the Phillies. In their infield for the Phillies, all their infielders. I'm looking at everybody. All their infielders are neutral. So everybody's neutral. 1-5. Shortstop iron, no. Sosa is neutral. He's not iron. If he was iron, he'd misplay a hot grounder for a single. Otherwise, it's a smooth play for a ground out. So since he was not iron, he was able to make that smooth play and get Siri out of there. 1 down for Francisco Lindor. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. 114, that's a freshness check. And we've got the dot this time. So the semi-fresh pitcher will be fresh. So Sanchez will be fresh. That means it's a ground out to shortstop. And that's out number 2. So the dot gave it to him. Gave him that freshness. 2 down. And that'll send up Juan Soto. 2-2-4. That's the pitching at home result. There it is. 2-2-4. Pitching at home. The home field advantage comes in. It's a pop up to short. And that's going to end the inning. So the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still no score. And here's Bryce Harper. Harper, Schwarber, and Realmuto for the Phillies. 2-4-6. Is it a control pitcher? He's got semi-control, but the dot let him down. There is no dot this time. So it will not be a ground out. Is the batter eager or sad sack? He is neither one. He's semi-patient. So he will walk. If he was active, he would steal, but he's not active, so he will just stay at first base. But Bryce Harper is there for the leadoff man to be on for Kyle Schwarber. That's a 3-3-6. And that asks, is the pitcher an ace or dynamic? He is a semi-star, so he's not an ace. Is the batter sad sack, utility, or patient? He is semi-patient and semi-utility, but the desired die is a no. So that means it's a no on all counts. So that's a single to center field. And with a lead die of 3, that's the lowest number, is the lead die. Runner advances 2 bases on a single. So that means the runner on first, Harper, will make third. And now the Phillies with their first big threat of the game, first and third, nobody out for JT Realmuto. Mets looking for the double play. That's a 3-3-4. And I ask, is the pitcher an ace or a star? He is a semi-star. The dot gives it to him this time. So he will be a star in this particular bat. So it's a pop-up to first, which is huge because nobody can advance. Now a double play gets you out of the inning. And it's Max Kepler, the batter. That's a 3-4-5. It's asking again about whether the catcher is gold. And both catchers are neutral, so that's a definite no on both accounts. So let's get back to where it was here. Oh, it's asking, is the catcher iron? Neither one of them are iron. They're both neutral. Good-eyed. Is batter good-eyed? No, he does not. So he will strike out, and that is out number 2. And now we're going to the right now chart because that strikeout on the 3-4-5 is written in blue. So we go to the right now chart. Holmes, because of that strikeout, is semi-hot. And Bader, the next batter, is neutral. He just flew to center. Semi-hot pitcher against a neutral batter. Now they're both neutral on the right now chart. 1-4. 1-4. Cold batter. No, he's not a cold batter. He's a neutral batter. If he was cold, he'd swing at a bad pitch and strike out. Otherwise, big swing connects, outfield drama. So we're checking the Mets for outfield drama. And their outfield Siri is semi-gold, and everybody else is neutral. And now they're all neutral. So we go to outfield drama, a 2-5, and everybody is neutral on the 2-5. And it says here, center field iron. No, he's semi-gold. If he was iron, he'd be unable to make the play. The ball would roll to deep center field for a double. Otherwise, he makes the running grab. So Siri makes a nice running grab, and the Phillies will leave him on first and third with nobody out and do not score. Thanks to a nice play by Siri. All right. We go to the top of the sixth. This will be the last inning of semi-freshness for both pitchers. Two-2-4. That's the home pitcher again. Again, that home field advantage, the home cooking is coming through. Again, look at the result in the book. 2-2-4. That's what we got. 2-2-4. Pitch in home. Wow, yes, they are. It's a pop out to short because we're in Philadelphia. So it gets Alonso to pops to short, one away for Mark Vientos. 1-2-4. Does the pitcher have control? 1-2-4. Does the pitcher have control? Yes, he does. He's got the control quality, so it's a ground out to short. Just that plain, just that simple. 2 down. And that brings up Brandon Nimmo. That is a 1-2-3. 1-2-3 says both flash and fresh. He's got the flash quality. He's not fresh, though, so it won't be a strikeout. Batter is blank. It's just a ground ball to short instead of a strikeout. But the end result is the same. No runs. So we go to the bottom of the sixth, still scoreless. Very unusual to have a scoreless game like this. Somebody's got to break through here. The Phillies almost did. Here's Castellanos. That's a 1-3-4, and that ask is the catcher goal, which he is not. Is the batter a champion? He is not a champion. So we have outfield drama again for the Mets. And again, Siri is semi-gold. Everybody else is neutral. And they're all neutral. 6-6. That's interesting. You get a double 6 on the outfield drama result. 6-6 outfield drama. Right fielder iron? No. Juan Soto is not iron. If he was, he'd misplay. Ball drops in for a double. Otherwise, it's a routine fly out. So the fact that he was not iron, they were able to get that out. So there's one away for Bryson Stott. That's a 1-1-4. That's a freshness check. They are in the sixth inning, which means they're semi-fresh, but the dot came up, and that will give him the freshness for this particular bat, and it means he grounds to short. So there's 2 outs. And that brings up Sosa. Oops. Edmundo Sosa, 1-2-4, control quality. He's got semi-control. The dot gives it to him. So it will be a ground out to short to end the inning. So 6 shutout innings apiece. And now I stand corrected. I said this was the last inning of semi-freshness. If you keep a shutout going, the semi-freshness goes with you until the 9th inning. So Sanchez is going to be semi-fresh. But we're also in 2025. So, you got to kind of be realistic here. You're not going to get a whole lot of innings pitched out of these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and make the move to the bullpen just to try to keep it realistic. Sanchez will go 6 innings. Obviously give up no runs. He gave up 1, 2, 3, looks like 3 hits. And he walked 1 and struck out 4. Anybody came in late, this is a score sheet I'm using, the History Maker Baseball score sheet. And you can see that Sanchez, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. And the Phillies will now need a new pitcher. And it's going to be Marte, Alvarez, and McNeil, righty, righty, lefty. So they will go to a right-hander out of their bullpen. And they will go with Orion Kirkerine. Again, another person I've never heard of, but he pitched the other day, so I know he's on the roster. So Kirkerine will be facing Starling Marte to start the top of the 7th. That's a 1-3-5. That is an unusual play result when you get a 1-3-5. 1-3-5 is blank for the pitcher, blank for the batter, and it's an unusual result. And now is where the colors matter. So we go over to the next chart on 2 pages across and look at what we've got. And it's color-coded. So it says black 1. Yes, we have a black 1. That means we're looking at the ballpark qualities. So we're going to check the ballpark qualities. Marte is a right-handed batter, so that means it plays normal for him. If he was a lefty, it'd play semi-small. He had a better chance of hitting a home run. It's normal, though. So it's a normal situation for Marte. 2-4. So we go to the ballpark qualities. Big ballpark. No, it's a normal ballpark. If it was a big ballpark, towering foul ball, plenty of room caught for the out. Otherwise, foul ball caught by fan near third base, batter still at bat. Okay, but since it was not a big ballpark, didn't have a lot of foul ground, Marte fouls out to the stands, so he gets to swing again. He's not out. That's a 2-5-6, and that's asking, I believe, if he's a struggler. Yes, it's asking if he's a struggler. No, he's a semi-ace. So we skip that. It's a batter champion or patient. Marte is neither one. So we got infield drama for the Phillies. And in the infield for the Phillies, they are all neutral. No iron, no gold gloves. We get a 1-5 on the infield drama for the Phillies. 1-5 infield drama. Shortstop iron. No, Sosa is not iron, so it won't be a single. It'll be a ground out. And Marte is out of there to start the 7th. Here's Francisco Alvarez. 1-1-4. That's a freshness check. Well, he just started. It's his first inning, so he's obviously fresh. And that means he's going to ground another ground ball to short. Had that been the starting pitcher, he would not have been fresh because the dot didn't give it to him. So that's why you don't want to leave tired pitchers in there very long, because that can hurt you. Here's Jeff McNeil. 1-2-3, flash and fresh. Yes, he's got the flash quality and he is fresh. So it will be a strikeout. And that will end the inning. So we're moseying right along here to the 7th inning stretch with no score. And the Mets will also make a change, just to be fair, because you know they're not going to let these pitchers pitch more than 6 innings. That's like a complete game was back in the old days. You get 6 innings out of the modern pitcher. So Clay Holmes is going to go 6 innings, give up no runs. And let's see, he walked a couple of those. He walked 3. And let's see, did he strike out many? He only struck out Castellanos on that left-right split. That was the only strikeout he got. Hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gave up 5 hits. All right, so the Mets now will need a new pitcher. It's going to be Otto Kemp, a righty, and then Harper and Schwarber, 2 lefties. So they may be looking to go to a left-hander out of the bullpen. We'll have to wait and see if they want to do this, and they will. They're going to go to Brooks Raley, a left-hander, out of their bullpen. So Brooks Raley is coming on, left-hander. He will be facing Kemp, Harper, and Schwarber. Hello, Mr. Chris. Good to see you. Do I like this game better than inside pitch? They both have their, I mean, this is kind of such a unique animal. It's so hard to compare it to any other game because it's just so unique. I like both games, really do. I like them for different reasons. I like this game because it's an open sandbox and I can be creative. But if I was going to do a serious replay, I'd do Stratomatic or inside pitch. All right, here's Otto Kemp. That's a 1-2-4. It's asking about control. And he's got semi-control, but the decider says no, he does not have control of this at bat, so it will not be a ground out to short. Then it asks, is the batter eager? Yes, he is eager. So he will pop it up to first. If he was not so eager, he would have walked, but he was too eager. Swung at a bad pitch, pops it up to first, and that's going to be 1 out. And here's Bryce Harper. 2-3-4. There are no runners on base, so we will not have plate drama. Is the batter a hot batter? Bryce Harper is not a hot batter because, A, he didn't start the game as a hot batter, and B, his last at bat he walked. If he'd have gotten a hit, he'd been a hot batter. And we've had a fence check for a home run if that was the case. But instead, he will pop it up to third, and that will be 2 down. Haven't been a whole lot of hot batters in this game, to be quite honest. Here's Schwarber. It's been the pitching dominating. Whoa, we got a hop and dice. Even these small dice hop. 1-4-5. Is the pitcher a struggler? No, he's not. So it's going to be a ground out to first base. And that's going to end the inning. Now, relief pitchers can be fresh in the first inning. Their second inning, they go to semi-freshness. So with that in mind, I'm going to do what I think the Phillies would do. They would start flooding the mound with bullpen arms, fresh arms. So that's what we'll do. It'll be Siri, Lindor, and Soto due up for the Mets. And they will go with Phillies will go with David Robertson, right-hander. David Robertson coming in from the bullpen. Now, do the Mets pinch hit for Siri because he's not that great of a hitter? They could go to a lefty pinch hitter in this case. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know if they have anybody that they think is good. Boy, who do they want to go out there to use? They're going to use Jared Young. Jared Young is going to be the pinch hitter, and then Tyrone Taylor will come in and play center field. Tyrone Taylor will play center field. He's a gold center fielder. So they're going to have Young pinch hit for Siri here in the 8th inning, and then Tyrone Taylor will go in and play center field as a gold center fielder. So leadoff man is going to be Jared Young. Jared Young, your leadoff guy, here in the top of the 8th against David Robertson in a scoreless tie. Jared Young against Robertson. He's a lefty batter. That's a 555. And 555 ask, is the pitcher an ace or a star? Once again, he's a semi-ace, so that falls in between the ace and the star. A semi-ace, it's in the rule book. It's not a homebrew, it's in the rule book. A semi-ace falls between these two categories, so it will be a deep fly to right. It will not be a home run. Jared Young just missed a pinch hit home run. But the fact that Robertson was a semi-star took that away from him. So there's one away. And now here's Francisco Lindor. That's a 3-3-4 for Lindor. And that's asking, is the pitcher an ace or a star? We're right back to the same boat. Yes, he is. It's a pop out to first. So that's 2 down. And here's Juan Soto. And that's 2-2-5, which is, it's a pitcher plain old star. No, he's not. He's a semi-ace, so this does not count. You would think it would because the ace is better than a star, but we're not checking the ace quality. We're checking the star quality, so that fails. Is a batter slugger or sad sack? He is a home run king, but not a slugger, so that fails also. But he will still single to center field. So Juan Soto gets his second hit of the ball game. He's at first base with 2 outs for Pete Alonso. Alonso a chance to get a home run here, potentially. Whoa, we got hop and dice again, so we're going to re-roll everything. We get a 1-3-5. That's the unusual results again, and the black 1 means we're going right back to Citizens Bank Park. And boy, if this is a small ballpark, Alonso might tee off. We'll have to see. He's normal. He's normal with his batting. He's a right-handed batter, so the park plays normal, so we'll see what happens. 2-4. Big ballpark. Same thing. This is the same. The 2-4 is exactly what we had earlier. It's going to be a foul ball because it's not a big ballpark and the foul territory is not roomy enough. So goes in the stands, and Alonso will get a free swing on the house. 1-2-3, flash and fresh. Yes, he is. That's a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. And that'll do it for Robertson. He pitches his 1 inning. And he gives up a hit, nothing else with the strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Mets will need a new pitcher because Rayleigh pitched his 1 inning, so he's coming out. And they will go to their bullpen. And they will go to Ryan Helsley. Ryan Helsley will get the call. Rayleigh pitched a 1-2-3 7th inning. Nothing on the board there. And it's going to be JT Realmuto, followed by Kepler and Bader. Here in the bottom of the 8th, a scoreless game. 3-5-5. That's one that hasn't come up yet. See what that result brings. 3-5-5. Ask, is the pitcher a struggler? He's not. He's a star. Is the batter a champion? Realmuto's not a champion. So he will ground out to second. There's a little thumb here which says if he's a whiffer, he's going to strike out. If he's a whiffer, means he has a tendency to strike out a lot. So it overrides some of the original outs in the book. This is a ground out to second. He's a semi-whiffer. The sire die says he's a whiffer, so he will not ground out to second. Instead, he will strike out. So Realmuto out on strikes to start the bottom of the eighth. And that brings up Max Kepler. Oh, 666. That's bad. That is bad right there. 666. Think of Appa with the 66. Is the pitcher an ace? No, he's a star, but not an ace. Is the batter a sad sack? Kepler is a semi-sad sack, but the sire die says no. So he won't fly to center. Instead, it's a deep drive glove. So let's go to the deep drive mini chart called glove. And we're going to roll 1d6. That's a 2. So we'll go checking the center fielder. Is the center fielder gold? Why, yes, he just happens to be gold because my brilliant managing brought in Tyrone Taylor to play center field. So, yes, he is gold. So he leaps. So then we go to the second column that says he leaps. Now, the only way he can catch this is a 1. He's got to roll a 1 to rob the home run. Otherwise, it will be a home run. But at least he got a chance. By being gold, it gives him a chance. But if it's a 1, that means he's going to make the catch. He does not. It's going to be a 3. It's out of his reach for a home run. So he gave it a shot, but it's over his head, and Max Kepler will put the Phillies on the board 1-0. Home run, Max Kepler. And a little thing like that little dot on the sire die, if had to come up with a dot, he'd have been considered a sad sack and would have flown out, but not the case. So here's Harrison Bader. 2-4-6. It's asking about control. He's got semi-control, and the dot gives it to him. So it will be a ground out to second. One moment. I got a call coming in. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that, but had to take that phone call. So Trying to figure out where I left off here. Bader is grounded. Bader grounded to second, so that's 2 outs. Bring up Castellanos, 3.66. That's an interesting result. 3.66 is blank for the pitcher. It asks, is the batter a pinch hitter? He's not, so he will fly to center, and that will end the inning. But the Phillies get a run, take a 1-0 lead into the top of the 9th. Close the book on Helsley. He gives up that home run. He is a losing pitcher of record. And unless the Mets can claim the lead in the 9th, go to the Phillies bullpen. See who's going to come on and try to save it. Who might they be turning to for that? They will go with, let's see, Vientos. It's going to be Vientos, Nimmo, and Marte. They're going to go with Matt Strahm, left-hander Matt Strahm. He will be on. So Strahm facing Vientos to start the top of the 9th. That's a 1.56. Blank for the pitcher. Is he a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The dot says he is in this at-bat, so Vientos will strike out. 1 away, and here's Brandon Nimmo. That's a 1.25. Is the pitcher a struggler? No, he's a star. Is the batter patient? He's semi-eager. He's not patient, so he's going to ground to third unless he's a whiffer. There's a little thumb here that says if he has a tendency to strike out, he might strike out. Semi-whiffer. Dot is there again. It's another strikeout for Strahm. 2 batters face 2 strikeouts, and it's last chance saloon here for Starling Marte. 2, 3, 4. Are there runners on base? No. Is he a hot batter? His last at bat, he grounded to short, so he is not hot. He will pop to third, and that's the ball game. The Phillies win it 1-0. Now, do I think the game tonight will be 1-0? Not hardly, but this is the way it turned out in this one. So the final out comes out with a pop to third. So the save goes to Strahm. The win goes to Robertson. The loss is to Helsley. And we look at the hits. 1 run and 6 hits and no errors for the Phillies. No runs, 4 hits, and no errors for the Mets. So there's your final score sheet for all the game right there. Phillies win it 1-0 on the home run by Max Kepler. So there you go. Like I said, I'm just went by what the lineups were the other night, so there's no guarantee that this is going to be the lineups. I don't know what the lineups are going to be. The only thing that was listed were the 2 starting pitchers, so I did use them. But other than that, it's open world, fair game after that. So I just thought it'd be fun to play it, and just I could, if I wanted to take the time to do it, it would take a very long time to do it. I could actually make the whole 2025 season, because basically we're into September 10th now. The number, whatever statistics they have between now and the end of the season, are probably not going to move the needle on some of these qualities. So the qualities it's not like Stratomatic where it's percentage point by percentage point and it's exact. This year in the neighborhood. So Strahm is a star pitcher. I doubt he does anything that makes him an ace between now and the end, or makes him a non-star between now and the end of the season. So once you get to this point in the season, you're pretty much accurate on what you need as far as statistics to fill out the rest of the way. So anyway, I just thought I would do that just as a one-off, just to have some fun. And there you go. That shows you the fun you can have creating the cards and playing the game itself. But tonight we're back to Stratomatic. It'll be the Demolition League, and it will be the Yankees and the Dodgers from Yankee Stadium. And it will be, I believe I said it was going to be, oh crap, now I forgot who was going to pitch. I know Yamamoto is pitching for the, it's Yamamoto against Carlos Rodon. There it is right there. I've already got the score sheet filled out, ready to go. So that's the game tonight, roughly 9 o'clock. and then it'll be game number 32. And then tomorrow morning, between 8:30 and 9, sometime in there, it'll be Cleveland at Milwaukee, Phil Niekro against Bill Wegman in the 1987 replay. That'll be tomorrow morning. So hopefully you enjoyed that presentation of History Maker Baseball. It's not a game I put out there very often, but just felt like doing it today just to be different and kind of break the monotony. Not that there is monotony in Stratomatic, but just kind of breaks up the little, the intense Stratomatic statistical, gotta have it, kind of stuff, and you can have more fun and laid back and open world and all that kind of stuff. So that's what you can do, and you can dress it up with as many accoutrements as you want. And like I said, for those that came in later, probably didn't see this, but I'll do the best to show it here if I can on my phone. Don't know how well this comes across, but that's basically what the cards look like from the company. This is a free PDF, but they're very generic, black and white. There's no logos, there's no team names, there's no colors, no nothing. So what I did is I took the information from here and made my own cards in my Excel spreadsheet that I got from the game company that allows you to edit all the ratings. And of course I can go to anywhere that has the logos and save the logos in a file somewhere, and then copy and paste them and minimize them and fit them on the cards. And then I just change the print from black to whatever the team colors are. I even made the Mets, the background, to be a shade of gray rather than plain white to give them the illusion that they're the visiting team. That's kind of that may be a little bit overdoing it, but hey, figure what the hey, might as well try it. So that's going to do it from here. If you get a chance to join me tonight for the Demolition League, that would be awesome. It'll be, like I said, roughly around 9 o'clock. It'll be the Yankees and the Dodgers from Yankee Stadium. And we'll see what they can do. Those teams can do. They're both chasing the Minnesota Twins, who are at 5-1 in first place after 6 games. Dodgers and the Mets, I believe, are both 4-2. I'm sorry, the Yankees. I think the Yankees might should be 3-3 actually. So, but it's early. You play 54 games. They only played 6, or 1/9 of the season through. So it's going to take a long time to figure out winners and losers in that division. But that's the fun of the process. I want to play that until the 25 season comes out next February from Stratomatic, and I plan on getting that with the new computer game, the whole bells and whistles, so that I can do a real true Demolition League and have all the players, computer players and everything. And well, Ernest, if you can, great. If you can't, you can always catch it on demand if you want to see what happens later on. But all right, so again, looking forward to playing that game tonight. Hope you all have a great afternoon on when we're at Hump Day. So you made it to Hump Day, and we've made it past the hump, because to me, when I was working, lunchtime on Wednesday was always the hump I had to get over, because that was the halfway point of the week. We made it over that now, so it's all downhill from here, and the weekend is in sight. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.